So listen, throughout the pandemic, us parents have been talking about the concerns of our kids not being able to keep up with their school lessons. A lot of them have been learning remotely. It's just been a lot of chaos over the past year or so. But new this morning, we have learned that Dallas ISD is working towards solutions. Hannah Davis joins us live outside district headquarters with the latest as they look at ways to just basically get some more education time, Hannah.
Yeah, good morning, Mark. It's getting more education time and getting that access to children. So there are two major proposals that DISD actually passed. We told you about them last month that they were just proposals, but last night they said we need to do this to improve that education and that retention because of what we've experienced during this pandemic with all of the remote learning and the changes. So let's take a look at the calendar changes going forward. Dallas ISD approved a new policy will now add what's called intersessional school days to the calendar. Before, essentially, this was described as extra days or weeks that can be added to the school year to help struggling campuses or students catch up and get more individualized attention. This would apply for the next 2 calendar years, that's 2021 and 2022, and the board budgeted $90 million to finance the additions for North Texas's largest school district. Now, the board also voted to extend the school year in general, adding 23 days. It would make the summer break shorter. It would have the school year end late in May and start early in August. They also passed that for the next 2 calendar years. Another thing that the board has done, and this was a while back, but they are making internet access more available to all students, especially in low-income areas, by putting up cell towers, getting Wi-Fi spots. They say they will finance that going forward as well. They say this is all in an effort to try to combat any learning loss that we've seen in the last year. Kara, over to you.
All right, thank you, Hannah. So our way out of the pandemic and back to life as it was is through the coronavirus vaccine. Here are 3 things that you need to know right now. Number 1, Dallas County says improvements are coming to mass vaccination efforts. It's been bumpy, it's been admitted. That includes an updated registration and appointment system and a bilingual call center. And number 2, a new Texas Lyceum poll shows that fewer than half of Texans will get the vaccine when it does become available to them. 24% say they're unsure if they're going to get it. 26% say they will not get it at all. Now, number 3, Pfizer and Moderna say that they are working quickly to update their vaccinations to be more effective against the new strain of the virus that you've likely heard about. So Era Placencia joining us this morning. She's digging into that new strain and what we know.
Yeah, hey, good morning, Kara. Thanks so much. So this new strain is from South Africa, and officials have confirmed that it's been found in 2 people in South Carolina. And the reason why there's some worry here is that medical experts do believe that this one is highly contagious. Now, here's what we know so far about those 2 people in South Carolina. So they live in different parts of the state. They have no connection to each other, and neither has a history of travel. Now, early tests have showed that the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines may not be as effective against this strain. So both those companies are now obviously working on a booster shot. Meanwhile, and unfortunately this is not so great news either, drug maker Novavax, whose vaccine is still in trial stages, reporting less than 50% efficacy against the South African variant. Of course, though, companies still working to adjust. But of course, that's why there's kind of a lot of concern here. The fact that these variants could be more contagious and that our vaccines just aren't as effective. We'll stay on top of this moving forward. But for now, the CDC urging Americans to avoid travel. President Joe Biden adding South Africa to the list of countries banned from traveling to the U.S. But this ban, that's not going to take effect until Saturday. Now, public health officials have said that they're almost certain that there are more cases of this South African variant. They just haven't found them yet, so they'll stay on top of that moving forward. And if you're keeping track and you want a kind of a big picture look here, there are 3 main strains that everybody's sort of keeping their eye on. That's the one in South Africa that we've been talking about, the one in the UK, and there's also a third one in Brazil.